What's up, Amazon sellers? Getting good feedback gives you so much value to your Amazon business. But as a starter or a newbie on Amazon, you might be asking, how can you get Amazon feedback on your selling account? Well, don't worry. In this video, I'm going to share with you all you need to know about getting feedback. Stay tuned. Right, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson, and I've been selling on Amazon now doing online arbitrage for the last 5 years. Now in the UK, I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller, check this out, and in the USA, I'm a 6-figure Amazon seller, check this out, and hopefully in the near future, I'm going to expand into another marketplace. And if you're interested in learning how I've done it and what I'm doing, then do make sure you follow me by hitting the subscribe button down below. But hey, enough about me. What are we going to talk about today? Well, first things first, number one, I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory to say why we're making the video today. Number two, I'm going to talk about what is Amazon feedback and what you need to know about it. Number three, I'm going to talk about what you're really here to know, how to get feedback as a new seller on Amazon, the do's and the don'ts. And then finally, number four, I'll give you some personal advice and tips and tricks around this and things that you need to know. So let's get started. Okay, so first thing first, number one, let's give you a little bit of a backstory. Now, as you might all know, Amazon's feedback is critical to, should we say, helping maintain a healthy account and supporting you with where you're going. Now, this is about having success on the Amazon selling platform. And the last thing you want to do is be one of the sellers on a listing whereby you've got, should we say, a 1-star review. And that's the only review you have. And by the way, I've been there myself. I literally thought my Amazon account was going to get shut down that day. Why do I say this? Well, because quite simply, it influences, should we say, is an element, not the key elements, but it is an element in regards to the buy box and how much you win the buy box. Seller feedback is a component of that, how much or how likely you are to win the buy box. It is also part of the order defect rate where they look at, which is a performance metric towards Amazon Seller Central in regards to how good you are as a seller towards their customer service standards. Now remember, Amazon cares about the customer. That's something very important. Now, in addition to that, buyers can also see your rating on the Amazon marketplace. And if you've got, should we say, poor Amazon feedback like me with 1 star, then that is going to influence their buying behavior, and perhaps they're not going to choose you and choose someone else. Now, in addition to this, Amazon may also suspend your account if you've got negative feedback and not doing a good job and below their target, which is something I was personally very scared of as well. Now, with that being said, I do believe getting some feedback when you first start on Amazon is quite key to making sure that you're getting some good metrics, but also as well focusing on, should we say, just trying to build that storefront presence when you start selling on Amazon. Now, if you want to know more about how to get good feedback and the processes we've used in the past, then stay to the end because I'm going to share all with you in this video today. Now, this leads me nicely onto my second chapter. What is Amazon feedback? Well, basically, Amazon feedback is a 1 to 5-star scale rating of performance, and there are 2 types of feedback. One is product feedback, and you'll see it on the products, the ASINs themselves, and there's another type of feedback which is seller performance feedback, which is you as a seller and how good the customer experience is. Now, generally speaking, the majority of feedback will go to the product, not you as a seller, but obviously when it goes to you as a seller, that's going to show up whenever you're on a listing and they can look at your name and see your feedback there. If it goes to one of your products, it won't show up on your personal, say, sales listing, or should I say listing as a seller itself, because that's product feedback, not your seller feedback. And there is a difference, be mindful of that. Now, you might be asking what the rating means. Well, quite simply, basically, if you get a 5 or a 4-star rating, that's considered positive feedback, pretty good. If you get a 3-star rating, that's classified as neutral. And if you get a 2 or even a 1-star feedback, well, that's considered negative, and obviously something you really want to avoid. Okay, so question for you guys. Are you worried about your feedback rating right now? Or perhaps maybe it's something you're not worried about? If so, let me know in the comments down below. Just drop me a yes or a no. I'm interested in knowing if you are worried and how many other audience are. Perhaps maybe if there's something I can help you with, let me know in the comments as well. I'll see if I can drop you some top tips. Now, this leads me nicely onto my third chapter, which is actually how to get feedback on Amazon, the do's and the don'ts. I'll also share with you, if you say, some top tips that you can know about, which is going to really help you to, should we say, get that feedback. Let's start with the things that you should be doing. So first things first, number one, if you're doing, should we say, FBM, fulfillment by merchant, or seller fulfill prime, ship on time or even ahead of schedule. Now, as you might all know, one of the common reasons why sellers, should we say, get negative feedback is because of late shipments. And with that being said, shipping on time or even ahead of schedule is likely to get you good feedback. Now, number two, a top tip you can do is send a review request to the customer. Now, you might be asking, how do you do a review request? Well, you can actually locate it on your Amazon Seller Central. You say orders, look at your merchant fulfilled orders, and then you'll be able to request a review. That's something very, very important. Now, the one thing I'll say is once you've sent that request, Amazon will send seller review feedback and product review feedback in the same message to the customer. So that's something how you're going to get those seller reviews and the product reviews. Obviously, you can get that, Amazon will send that to them. Now, the third top tip for you is to make sure you have, say, accurate listings. Obviously, you're selling the product you say you're going to do. Now, if you're doing something like with me, we do online arbitrage, we're buying from online stores, we need to make sure that those products are matching exactly, not similar, but exactly what is on the listing. Because if it is not exactly, then you can get negative reviews, and I can understand you're probably likely to get them because the customer is annoyed because you're not getting the product they thought they were getting. Now, for you, that's going to affect you as maybe they get a negative product, but even a negative seller review, that's something to consider. Now, with that being said, do make sure that you are double checking if the product matches what's on the listings, and that's, description, title, packaging, and other information which describes the product. Now, if you want to know more about the checks that we do within my own business around, checking the listings and how we do those checks, what I'll do is I'll drop a video up here called 10 ways to check if a product is a match or not. And that's the 10 things we're checking when we're doing listing checks versus a product we're looking to buy. You can use third-party tools, which are going to help you solicit more feedback. And the good thing about using third-party tools, which is they can target certain types of feedback. For example, within my business, when we first started out, I used a tool whereby I was only requesting feedback for seller reviews, not product reviews. Because remember, I got that 1-star review and I needed to get it up quick. I needed 19 5-star seller reviews very quickly. So I paid for a tool to help me increase those reviews straight away. That really helped out. Let me jump on the computer right now and I'll show you how to access the third-party tools that you can use that are going to really help you out here. So let's jump on the computer right now. Okay, so first things first, I'm just logged straight into Seller Central, and what you want to be doing is coming up to this, the menu option, and then you want to be coming down, and we're going to be looking for, if we go to Partner Network, Selling Partner App Store. Click on that. That's going to get you to all these, third-party apps. Now, under categories right here, you can just come along to feedback and reviews, click on that, and that's going to show you all the different feedback providers. So you can see here there's 148 that's going to support you, and the idea is you can have a look through these. Now, the one thing which I will say is when I first started out, I used Sellerboard, which I found really useful, and we've got a free trial of that as well, and that's the 2-month free trial, which you won't get if you go direct. That's something that really helped with us, and I had a whole process that I went through to get seller reviews, not product reviews, which is what I talked about before. Now, I'll drop a link up above to that video, which is about how to get seller reviews as a new seller, and that's probably going to really help you out in how to actually use Sellerboard, set it up correctly, using the right scripts to stay in compliant with Amazon's terms of service. So check that out. That'll help you out, that video. Now, after going through the things to do to get Amazon feedback, let's talk about some of the things you should probably avoid to stay out of trouble. What I'd really recommend is, generally speaking, don't use any third-party software which aren't part of the App Store within Amazon. Now, maybe you want to, help building your business or doing some feedback. Generally speaking, using applications can really help you. But what I would say is do make sure you use the ones within the App Store, like I showed earlier on, because they are part of, abiding by Amazon's terms of service. Now, this is going to avoid you getting into trouble. Now, why? Because according to Amazon's communication guidelines, proactive permitted messages can be sent via email using Amazon's templates via the contacted buyer or request a review page in Seller Central, or third-party applications in the App Store or via the API. Now, what it does say is applications within the App Store. That's something really, really important. And if you are using applications whereby they're not in the App Store, they might not be part of terms of service, and they might be sending out messages which are against terms of service. And because Amazon could obviously flag your account, but even shut you down, which is something you don't want to be having. And obviously they're going to be getting you in trouble. So be mindful of that. Now, again, you might be asking, where can you find these apps? And again, based on what the video just showed you, go into your Seller Central, go into that selling partner app store. That's really going to help you out. Finding the applications that are going to work. And again, that link that I shared previously around Sellerboard, that's going to be really helpful to, doing what we did, which helped me get sellers coming back from that first 1-star review. Now, the second thing which I'll say is, coming back to the communication guidelines that I just talked about, is don't incentivize any reviews. Now, this is something that people used to talk about all the time, like get something free, but according to Amazon's communication guidelines, language that either incentivizes or persuades the buyer to submit a positive review or seller feedback, including offering compensation, money, gift cards, free or discounted products, refunds, rebates or reimbursements or future benefits, are quite simply not allowed. So giving incentives like coupons, free products in exchange for positive reviews is prohibited by Amazon. Be very, very mindful of that. You can't do it. Now, the third thing which I will say is don't repeat requests for feedback. As you might all know, Amazon allows sellers to send request feedback. However, you should only ever send one request per order according to the communication guidelines. So don't go and send like one request through that and then maybe do a follow-up message to the seller and ask for it in another way, doing another request. That is not allowed. Something you should know about. Okay, so I just want to take a moment out of this video to talk about, should we say, systems, processes, and managing your business. Now, the one reason why I'm talking about this is because getting seller reviews is key. Maintaining good account metrics is really key. But the one thing which I'll say is it doesn't actually add value. It's about kind of protecting the downside rather than adding value, should we say, making you more money. Doing seller reviews, fetching order invoices, maybe doing accounting, managing inventory. They're very key parts of our business and something we should always be staying on top of. But unfortunately, they don't add value. And what do I do in my own business? And again, we've got 2 seven-figure businesses, or quite simply, I hire a team to do these administrative tasks for me. Now, the reason why I say this and I say it to you is because, again, I'm going to come back to that point about you as a business owner should be focusing on the areas which add profitability, that can grow your business. Things which are, should we say, administrative, that you've got to cross the T's and dot the I's just to make sure everyone's happy, they should probably be outsourced to someone else because they can be done by someone else, whereas you can add the real value and profitability. Now, if you are interested in looking at, should we say, all my administrative tasks and everything that I do within my own business, and this is things like this, seller reviews, managing customer orders, but also all my inventory management, my exact SOPs, how we do our cash flow, how we do our balance sheets, how we do our P&Ls in the US and the UK using QuickBooks and Xeros and everything we've got set up, every single step-by-step administrative task I have in my own business, then what I would say is check out my Amazon Admin Mastery course, which is going to show you everything that we do and you can teach yourself or teach any VAs you may have. And I have 6 VAs right now, I think it is, doing this part of my business across both of them. And this is going to really help you save time, but also as well get you outsourcing that kind of administrative side and back to making the money. Now, if you're interested, do check it out. I'll drop a link down below to my admin course, which is going to support you around admin mastery and selling on Amazon. Now, this leads me nicely onto my 4th chapter, some personal top tips and advice for you. Selling on Amazon, and also getting reviews is going to be challenging at first. Let me tell you now, you will get there eventually. Now, if you want to know, again, I talked about that 1-star review when I first started, which I got the warning, your account might be shut down. You are under alert. I was like, oh my God, this is awful. But the one thing which I will say, if you are in that situation whereby you're struggling right now, you're like, oh my God, I need to get my reviews up quick. What can I recommend? Well, quite simply, what did I do? Well, number 1, I got seller board and I set it up with that auto reply. Number 2, I found a cheap product that I could just sell massive volumes of, and I literally sold it at break even. I'm not going to lie, I probably sold about $1,000 or £1,000 worth of stock at break even because I needed to get sales quickly and I needed to get reviews of sales. And what we understand is that you're probably going to get a 1 to 3% conversion rate on it. So I had to start selling lots of products very quickly. And for me, selling low value items, a lot of them, sending out those review requests of seller boards was key to getting in some positive reviews very, very quickly. So all of a sudden my red minus 1-star review started going to a 2 to a 3 overall, and then 4, and then finally now we're at like 4.95, I think it is, like 4.99, like we're really, really high. Why? Because we do a lot more. The long story short, get some software to help you out if you are struggling and you need to get the review count up, but also as well, just sell some fast selling items, but very low value, so just so you can get a lot more orders out, and obviously you're likely to get more reviews. That's my top tip for you. Now, what I will say is after understanding how to get feedback on Amazon without getting into trouble, which is so important, you might want to consider watching a video I created previously on how to request removal of seller feedback on Amazon. And that's going to be, I'll drop it around here. And this is when you get bad feedback. You can get it removed for certain conditions. Check that video out. You'll really like it and it'll help you out. And we do that a lot. Now, hopefully you've liked this video. If you have, give me a big thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button down below. From myself, Thomas Parkinson and Fast Track FBA. Thank you very much.